Yo, what it do, you know what I'm saying? It's your boy Trent Dapper back in the lab like I time travel with another 5 video for y'all, you know what I'm saying? But look though, today I got another reaction video with Honest Outlaw, you know what I'm saying? Back in the lab with a nothing, you feel me? 3 must-have guns of 2025, you know what I'm saying? Y'all just get in the comments and let me know how y'all feel. Do y'all feel like these guns right here, do y'all feel like they must-have guns of 2025? You know what I'm saying? Y'all just get in the comments. Y'all let me know what y'all think about these guns. But, you know what I'm saying? But I ain't gonna hold y'all too much longer, you feel me? I'm finna go and get right into it and unload what he got going on. You understand? Get right into it. Let's see what Honest Outlaw got going on.
What's up, guys? This is Chris here, and today we're going to be talking about 3 of the best firearms from 2025. This year was a great year for guns. There was something for everyone. I ain't gonna lie to y'all, too. 2025 was a good year for guns, bro. I feel like 2024 and 2025, it was one of our best years. I can only imagine what 2026 finna be like.
And
for the past 10 years of gun reviewing, I think this might be the best year for firearms yet. There are several guns this year that you guys really should get your hands on. Guns that sort of change the game. Now, I know that gets overused, but this year I think we saw 3 real contenders that are going to supplant the old favorites. Now, these firearms are absolutely excellent, and I think it would be worth your while to pick them up and try them out.
Hey babe, Lorraine here. Before we get into today's list, I'd love to tell you about the partner of today's video, NordVPN. For the past 10 years, Chris and I have been reviewing firearms yourself to be aware. Fake malisters and tunnel. Hi, Steven and listen to you.
First time, put a smile on my face.
I think it runs really smooth.
I love it! Now this MC9, and with the first one here, the first one is going to be the Canik Mete MC9.
What y'all think about that? Y'all think it deserves a spot for the 2025 list? I see he put it at number 3. Well, he put it at number 1. What y'all think? How y'all feel? Y'all get in the comments and let me know what y'all think, man.
Prime. Put a smile on my face.
I
feel like it's okay. I feel like it deserves a spot.
Now, this was probably the best handgun of 2025. To be completely honest, a lot of good handguns came out from a lot of different manufacturers. Some of my favorites. That being said, the Canik MC9 Prime is probably the overall best gun of 2025, at least for the 9mm handgun. And the reason for that is because of its price to performance ratio, its features that it brings to the table, and its size and weight ratio. So it got everything right if you're going to buy one singular handgun. Now, that gun used to be the Glock 19, and you hear that still every once in a while, especially from older gentlemen like myself, because the Glock 19 really did change the game as far as concealed carry. Before the Glock 19, there really wasn't a wave of concealed carriers and everyday people going out there and trying to protect themselves, because it just wasn't feasible as far as weight, cost, etc. Nowadays, though, there is an absolute tidal wave of polymer frame striker-fired pistols. They're getting smaller, they're getting lighter, and they're getting better features. And
do y'all feel like the polymer striker-fired pistol game oversaturated? You know what I'm saying? I feel like to a certain point it kind of could be oversaturated. You know, it's a lot of polymer striker-fired handguns that we don't know about that get overlooked. I feel like the Ross Martin, that's one of the ones that it's a good shooting handgun that a lot of people just overlook because, you know, the market is kind of so saturated right now. But it's a lot of people that give them that credit. I'm one of them, but it's kind of, I don't know. What y'all think?
I think this year they really topped it off with the Canik MC9 Prime. Now, this has a 3.6-inch barrel and a polymer frame with a striker-fired action. Not very different from the Glock 19, but where it differs completely is going to be in feature set, capacity, and width. The gun is significantly thinner than the Glock 19, even though it has about the same size grip. Now, that's going to matter a lot if you're going to conceal carry the gun, and it's going to matter a lot if you want to have more bullets in the gun. So first off, we have a slightly shorter barrel, but you're not losing a whole lot of velocity. The second thing you're going to get is a slightly reduced weight with a slightly increased capacity. Instead of the standard 15-round magazines from the Glock 19, you get 17 rounds for the same size grip in the Canik MC9 Prime. On top of that, you don't get old plastic sights. You get the blacked out rear with the HD front night sight, which is a incredible sighting setup, especially for the cost, which we'll talk about here in a second. You get weight reduction on the slide. You get get a better milled slide, in my opinion. Not only is it tri-topped and slimmed down for lighter weight, but it also has increased grip on the front and the rear. We also get an included compensator with a triple port comp on the front, which reduces recoil. But where it gets really crazy is with the trigger. Now, the Caniks have had a better trigger than the Glock since they came out, but this one is sort of the Canik TTI combat trigger from the Terran Tactical version, except they put it in a tiny micro gun. So as you can see here, we have basically a similar pull weight and reset to some 2011 pistols, but you get it in a $600 polymer frame concealed carry gun. You get the recoil control, the trigger, and you get the fast follow-up shots of a competition gun, but you get the reliability of a polymer frame striker-fired carry gun, you get the lightweight of a Glock 19, and you get all the features you could ever want. Large trigger guard, increased texture on the grip, removable back straps, you get a magazine well included, and you get a cut for a shield RMS pattern optic. Absolutely phenomenal gun. It's super close to being the perfect concealed carry gun. The only thing that I would improve slightly is probably the comp design. Hopefully in the future, I don't know how much it would cost, but they could actually come out with a sight block gun, very similar to the Staccato P45, put a comp in that, and then you literally have the perfect gun. Overall, though, for the price point that's about the same as a Glock 19, I don't really see a reason to get the Glock anymore when you can get this. That's why it's our first must-have. In at number 2, we have a gun that, in my opinion, basically makes one of my favorite guns irrelevant, and that is going to be the Springfield Kuna. With the introduction of the Springfield Kuna, you see an advancement in just ergonomics overall, using the same action as the previous best subgun, the MP5. The Springfield Kuna is a roller-delayed pistol caliber carbine with a 5-inch barrel.
Ooh, look at how she run. Ooh, boy, that's a nice firearm. I can't even hold it like. Boy, that's a nice gun right there, boy. The Kuna, man, that's something serious, bro. Roller delay system, bro. You don't get no better than that for a PCC.
Very similar to the MP5K, which is arguably the greatest subgun ever made, or at least the MP5 and the MP5K. The difference between the two is going to be enhanced ergonomics on this gun and a price that comes in at about 1/3 the cost of the MP5. So we have a better grip on the gun, we have a better trigger group on the gun, a superior trigger by a pretty wide margin. Not only is the pull lighter, but the reset is faster. We have an ambi magazine release and an ambi bolt release. So if you are left-handed, you can run this gun all the same as you could a right-handed.
The fact that it's fully ambidextrous is crazy. Like, you gotta pay $3 grand on an AR to get a bolt that does this. You do.
Conversely, the MP5 is not exactly left-hand friendly. We've got an M-LOK rail up here already included in the gun. We have a side charging handle which actually locks back, and you can use the bolt release, so it's very similar reloading process to the AR-15, which is significantly faster, not as fun, but significantly faster than the MP5. We also have a hooded front sight with a ghost ring rear, and then we have a set of pistol sights if you fold them down. Now, if you're familiar with AR-15s, you're probably going to take that for granted, but as far as the standard HK MP5, most of them you have to screw on a rinky-dink around rail. It comes off sometimes, and it doesn't leave a lot of space for optics and light mounting. Whereas this is a much superior platform. Going back to the back end, it also comes with a Picatinny rear.
And it come with a flat face trigger? I did not know that. It came with a flat face trigger.
This is a much superior platform.
Look at that. That's crazy. What more could you ask for a PCC?
Going back to the back end, it also comes with a Picatinny rear.
Ooh, that sounds sexy.
Now, not as reliable and durable maybe as an MP5 or an AR-15 buffer tube system, but it does allow you the versatility to put on literally whatever you want, which is super great. So overall, all the ergonomics are better, even including the magwell here, and the magazines are actually clear, which is nice. Now, I'm not going to say that magazines are better. The MP5 mags are probably better, but the magwell on the Kuna is significantly easier to reload than the MP5. The MP5 is famously a little bit difficult to reload. Overall, you get a superior set of controls. You get it at 1/3 the cost, and in my personal testing, it is just as reliable and durable. Now, it's probably never going to get the track record of the MP5. It's probably never going to get the cool factor of the MP5 unless the SAS rappels down and swings into a few windows with this. I think this one is going to remain less cool than the MP5. That being said, this actually does have military and in law enforcement service already. This is known as a Springfield product, but what it really is developed by HS Systems over there in Croatia, and these were developed for military use, and they are used as such. We've done drop tests, we've done mud tests, and this gun is significantly reliable, especially compared to a lot of the other pistol caliber carbines on the market. And as far as a pistol caliber carbine goes, in my opinion, it's overall superior. The MP5 was designed as a subgun after all, and the trigger doesn't really matter if you have to just hold it to the rear and hold on to the gun, whereas a pistol caliber carbine has to be used in semi-automatic, and the trigger reset matters a lot, and the Kuna is just far superior. If you take a standard stock MP5 and a Springfield Kuna, I think you'll actually be able to shoot the Kuna faster because of the trigger. Now, it has a little bit more recoil than the MP5, but it's also lighter weight as well, so if you're going to be using it as a bag gun, or maybe hide it inside your suit jacket like you're in the Secret Service, you're going to appreciate that lighter weight. I think you're going to inevitably see this being more popular in the future, simply because it's finally an overall superior product. Now, I love the MP5, and if I had to pick one or the other, I would pick the MP5 because of how cool it is and because I'm an old man, but I think people coming up today that have a less of an emotional connection are probably going to go this route, which is why it's number 2.
Yeah, out of the box, like pound for price, this is the best option on the market.
Yeah, it's hard not to say that. Yeah. And finally, our last must-have gun of 2025, and that's going to be this guy right here.
Alright, chat, what y'all think it's going to be? What y'all think it's going to be?
Pulled right out of my carry rotation, and I talk about it a lot, but I really do think this is a must-have gun, especially considering a lot of people I talk to that concealed carry firearms, concealed carry them about half the time, and that includes a lot of the influencers that you see on YouTube that say they carry a Glock 34. I actually go to these meetings and I meet a lot of these people, and I can tell you very few of them actually have the 2011 or the Glock 34 or the MEP steel frame that they say they have. And when people concealed carry a pistol, they're usually carrying something like this because it is comfortable. Human beings are inherently lazy, and we do what's the easiest, and the easiest thing is to carry a small gun, so you might as well carry one you can hit something with. And that's why at number 3 we have the Bodyguard 2.0 carry comp. Now this kind of changed the game in 2024 and changed it again in 2025, and the reason why I think this is a must-have is because this supplants all of the single stack 380 pistols that people used to carry instead of this. And the reason for that is because of a lot of things. Well, number 1, it's only about $500. Number 2, the grip and the ergonomics are superior to any 380 pistol that you will ever try. The bore axis is lower, it's more shootable, it has a better trigger with a bigger trigger guard, and it even has an included compensator on the top of the slide, and an HD front with a blacked out rear, and a slide that's super easy to use. Now, one of the reasons why I carry the Bodyguard is you get 12+1, which is 13 rounds of 380 ACP, which is pretty formidable, but you get it in a package that's only 10 ounces and less than an inch wide, which is really easy to carry, especially for a summer gun, basketball shorts, that kind of thing, and you have a capable gun that you can shoot really well. Best thing about the Bodyguard, in my opinion, is that when you have the 12+1 magazine, I have a long grip here, but still a really tiny gun that's easy to conceal, and I can draw it quick too. Crazy lightweight for that good of capacity, that good of grip, and that good of shootability. There's no reason to get an LCP, there's no reason to get a SIG P238 anymore, in my personal opinion. This is going to be ergonomically superior, it's going to shoot softer, it's going to be more reliable, and just overall a significantly better firearm if you are going to need it. On top of that, it carries a bigger capacity because it is in fact a double stack gun. So instead of that standard single stack 7-round capacity you might get with a platform like this, as I mentioned before, you can get 12+1, which is a whole lot better. Especially if you're worried about the power of 380 ACP, shot placement is absolutely paramount in any shooting engagement, but especially with 380 ACP because of its penetration issues. So I would recommend that you get a more shootable gun with a little more capacity. This is my current carry setup for my Bodyguard 2.0. I've actually been carrying it in this G-Code Phenom Commando here. And as you can see, this is kind of an interesting little holster. Now, they did send me this to try, and I do try out a lot of different holsters. It's got a big sweat guard here on the back, which is really nice. It's got a huge opening in the front here, which makes drawing the gun a lot easier. The clip is extremely strong, which is nice. It's got a 1.5-inch clip on it, so clips onto my big gun belt really well that I wear. I wear an old school leather gun belt. I just like the look. And this one clips on and holds on, and I've never had the holster come out with the gun. Also comes with this wing here, which is really nice. It's a metal wing, and it pushes the gun in a little bit and makes it conceal very, very nicely while still maintaining a really, really nice package. Now, one of the things I really like is it has good trigger guard coverage, but as you can see here, the top of the trigger guard is visible. And the reason why I like that is because it allows me to grip the gun and get the gun in out of the holster super easy while maintaining an actual firing grip, which is really nice. And even though it's really stiff, it actually goes on and off really well. One of the things I like to do is draw the and put it nice and have a guard that's so well. Quality Kydex, won't deform on you like a leather holster. So if you're interested, G code 10, you get. I carry this anytime I don't have a larger gun like my Staccato CS or my M&P Shield. It's so lightweight, it's so easy to use that there's just no excuse not to have a firearm anymore. And a lot of those guys carry pocket knives because the gun's too heavy. Well, this is your solution right here, and that's why this is number 3 on the must-have of 2025. One of the most shootable, lightweight, easy to use, reliable concealed carry pistols. You can go out there and take care of yourself, take care of your family, take care of the people around you, and again, no more excuses because it's lighter than your freaking cell phone. Overall, this is 3 of my favorite firearms that have came out in a long time. And if you're a new shooter, if you're new to firearms, I don't see any reason to get a Glock 19, an MP5, and a Ruger LCP anymore. I think you really should just upgrade. Get yourself a Canik, a Kuna, and a Smith & Wesson carry comp, and I think you're going to be good to go for at least the next 20 years until the next contender. 2025 was probably my favorite year of firearms ever. We've made so many comp, they have and made it light, especially as a lot lighter these days. And you your Oklahoma shelters, and remember,
look like he ain't got too many. Well, look like he ain't got no honorable mentions. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna let y'all go. You know what I'm saying? With that being said, it's your boy Trent Dapper. You feel me? Signing off.